must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss, except when it's dignified as an art form by the multi-billion-dollar cosmetic industry. In fairness, much of the industry is devoted to hygiene by selling soaps and creams, shampoos, and toothpaste. The proverb, "Beauty is only skin deep," is not quite true. It isn't even that deep. A microscopic look at the surface of the skin reveals what looks like wind-damaged tiles. And it's these tough, overlapping cells that protect the skin against foreign objects, including even cosmetics. The major outer layer of the skin is called the epidermis, and the larger layer below it, the dermis. It is in the dermis that sweat glands, blood capillaries, and hair follicles are embedded. The epidermis is subdivided into the stratum corneum and other layers of which only the stratum germinativum need concern us. As cells in the stratum germinativum reproduce, they continually heave the existing cells upwards to the stratum corneum. Through enzymatic action, the nuclei disintegrate and cytoplasmic proteins are converted to the structural protein keratin. The term corneum comes from the Latin corneus, meaning horn. And these outer horny cells, like fingernails, are clinically dead. Surprisingly, the corneal cells, like all skin cells, remain supple and soft. Not because of natural oils, but because keratin is slightly soluble in water. Water is supplied by sweat glands, which maintain a 10% moisture content in the cells. This corneal moisture is prevented from evaporating for the most part by the secretion of an oily sebum produced by the sebaceous glands surrounding the hair follicles. The skin then is a remarkable self-renewing, self-cleansing organ. Embedded dirt, bacteria, and viruses are constantly being sloughed off by the upwelling corneal cells. Finally, these foreign bodies are deposited in the oily layer on the surface, where the action of good old scrubbing and cleansing agents can hasten their removal. One such cleansing agent is alcohol, which dissolves the contaminated surface oil. But this action strips the skin of its protective oily layer, and the subsequent dehydration of the corneal layer encourages the invasion of bacteria in the fissures. Cleansing creams containing oil-soluble products are a better buy. Even after the oily residue has been scraped off, these creams leave behind a protective sheath until the skin regenerates its own natural oils. Soaps and detergents are also highly effective cleansers because they perform this double duty of cleaning and protecting. As we examined in the soaps program, soap contains polar molecules which form micelles in an aqueous solution. The hydrocarbon tails of the soap molecules, through agitation, will break up the contaminated oily layer, regroup to form oil-filled micelles, which are then carried off by water. Skin softeners, or emollients such as lanolin, are often added to soaps. Lanolin contains hydroxyl groups, which form hydrogen bonds with water, and thereby keep the skin soft and elastic. Now that the face is cleaned up and the skin is soft, It is time to enhance nature's failed features. We will only consider lipstick among the many beauty products affecting the epidermis. There are no sweat glands in the lips and only a few sebaceous glands, making the lips susceptible to chapping and infection. While manufacturers ensure that their lipstick is aseptic, their non-disposable testers may yet become a public health issue. Applying makeup, which others have used, to that part of the skin vulnerable to infection is a very risky practice. Whatever the marketing techniques, the consumer wants lipstick to impart color and prevent chapping. The first consideration in manufacturing, then, is the selection of coloring agents, namely dyes. There are two kinds of dyes used in lipstick: eosine dyes and lakes. Eosine dyes are water-soluble and impart a slight red stain to the corneal layer of the lips. A lake consists of a dye which was originally water-soluble, but has been converted to an insoluble species by precipitating it with a metal ion. In this sequence, we show two dye molecules where the active sites are tied up with a metal ion. This neutral precipitate is now oil-soluble. Now the trade-off. A long-lasting but low-luster lipstick may contain 6% eosine dyes and 8% lakes. But the less permanent high-luster lipstick may contain 3% eosine dyes and up to 14% lakes. Fashion magazines are used by the cosmetic companies to dictate taste. And the chemist assiduously blends the right combinations to meet consumer demand. The powdered dyes are then completely wetted with an oil to form an oil dye paste. This process is carried out under vacuum to remove any absorbed gases that would form bubbles. But a lipstick base has to remain rigid, yet turn liquid when applied to the lips. And carnauba wax is just the thing. Its crystalline three-dimensional array has a relatively high melting point. But apply pressure and the carnauba melts. However, the oil dye paste doesn't readily mix with carnauba, so a beeswax binder is introduced. The formulation also includes an antioxidant to prevent the oils from turning rancid, and a small amount of perfume to sweeten the kiss. So while a kiss is still a kiss, the cosmetic industry has yet to work on the sigh.